Hey, I'm ZSH Plays. Welcome to the Grand Tour of Jurassic World North West. Here we are at the entrance. I've got to say, I'm still pretty pleased with this, with our dinosaur that we created out of these wooden slats. Got the car park away over there, and then quite a lot of detailing on the building in terms of posters and little signs and things like that. We got some benches. I think it's a great way to announce the park. There isn't actually an interior to this building because we've got an arrival point and a viewing gallery hidden away inside. The entrance to the viewing gallery is disguised with a little fossil zone on the side of the building here. So let's go through this a little side entrance here and into the park's main plaza and our first habitat, which is for the Hypsilophodon. This was the first habitat that we built in the park, and I'm very pleased with it. Went for a much more zoo-style habitat than you'd normally see in Jurassic World Evolution. Got our little Hypsilophodons down here. They're so cute. They've got a little indoor area away in the back there, below that sign. A waterfall. Got some custom enrichment items for them. One hanging down from the tree there, and this little feeder barrel in the middle, which obviously they don't use. Another kind of feeder away over there. The plaza stretches round to both sides, so let's go this way. Got an emergency shelter over there, very necessary in the Jurassic universe. And then we've got a gift shop and a T-Mex food stall. We've got some statues and stuff here. You can see the park's first monorail station over there. The monorail is mainly designed to get people around the park once they've walked through it, so you don't have to walk through it twice. It's mainly designed to be navigated on foot. And we're going to go into the first area in the park now, the beginning. This is based around the pre-Jurassic times, so the Triassic era and eras even earlier than that, with the animals in the game that we have from those eras. So the first place that we're going to see in here is the Desert Dome, which is another one of the first things that we built in this park. It's a big custom dome. This is the first time I ever tried building anything kind of inside. It's based on the Desert Dome at the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha. And the way it's designed is that you can come up here and straight away you can go into the viewing dome inside, where you can get a good look at our Dimetrodon. A very good look when they're this close to it. You can see the monorail track in the background as well. These guys have got a massive habitat. Pretty much all the habitats in the park, or most of them anyway, I've made them as small as we can do, just to try and keep that realistic zoo-style feel. And then if we leave the viewing dome, we can get ourselves inside the Desert Dome and have a look at the other habitat in here. Oh, good timing. Which is for the Allosaurus. A few of them in here. Yeah, you can just see them there, gambling about. And we can walk all the way around here. We've got another viewing window into the Dimetrodon here. Walk around here, we can get back into the viewing dome for the Dimetrodon that we were just at. And then that is the staff entrance over there. And then we would simply turn around and head back out the way that we came. Back outside, we can move on round to the other part of this area, the Triassic Forest. We've got a little implied habitat over here for some tiny Triassic creature, little lizard or something like that. Obviously there's nothing in there, but they've got a little tree to climb on and a little nesting box at the back. There's a few of those dotted around this park. But the main attraction is the Herrerasaurus. We've got a viewing gallery for them there. And then from over here, the way the habitat's designed, you can actually see them with no barriers between you and them, because there's a hidden moat there that prevents them from getting out. Let's go into the viewing dome and take a look at them. A pretty simple wooden construction here, all overgrown to kind of sell that forest look. And here we are. Nice view of one of our Herrerasaurus there. I think there's 3 of them in here. There's another one sleeping over there. You can see a goat desperately trying to get out of the habitat. If you're enjoying this, by the way, don't forget to hit the like button and make sure you subscribe so you can see the next park on the channel. And yeah, that's the Herrerasaurus. We'll move on into the next part of Jurassic World North West. The beginning area is fairly small, just because there's not that many animals from those eras in the game. And now we get into the park proper. So you got 2 choices here. If we go to the left, we'll be in the Jurassic area. And if we go to the right, we'll be in the Cretaceous area. You can just see past here the Lagoon, which is the exclusive resort hotel for guests. So you need to pay extra for that. and there's some ichthyosaurs in the lagoon in front of the hotel. We will take a proper look at that later. But for now, we're going to head on into the Jurassic area. So this is one of the largest areas in the park, although the Cretaceous is the biggest. There's another monorail station there, which makes it easier for people to get around. I thought it'd be fun here to have a little reminder of Jurassic Park. So this is supposed to be like a rescued part of the Jurassic Park Visitor Center. It's been placed here. Presumably all the different Jurassic worlds around the planets would have their own little bit of the original Visitor Center. Some signage there for it as well. There's a path down here, which is another way to get to the lagoon, as well as the monorail. We're going to go through the classic Jurassic Park gates and into the Jurassic area. Looking pretty busy at the moment. The first habitat that we come to here is for the compies. This is possibly, aside from the Hypsilophodon, the smallest habitat, I think. Trying to get it as small as possible. There's a viewing dome inside. Our guests in here having fun looking at the compies. You can just see one there on their little feeder. There we go. I like how you can see the guests walking past on the other side of the habitat as well. And after he hops away, we'll go back outside again. We'll head over to the Stegosaurus breeding center. This is one of the most obviously zoo-style habitats in the park. I really like how it works because we've got these barriers here to keep the Stegosaurus in, but no actual fences or moats or ditches or anything. That is all we need because they're simply too big to fit between those posts. They would be like steel coated in wood or painted to look like wood rather than just wood. I'm not sure wood would last long against the Stegosaurus. So we've got those over there. And then this is the other view into the compy habitat. That's the meat they were eating before. Can't see any other compies at the moment. Oh, there's one. Very cute little habitat. Around here, we've got a little fork in the path. This little path on the right takes us down to the dinosaur encounter for the Stegosaurus. The babies that we had here have grown up, so there aren't any babies in here at the moment, but I'll show you some cinematics of what that looks like when we do have babies. There we go, young Stegosaurus coming in for their bucket of leaves. Love this new feature, it's so cool. And then on the other side of the path takes us down to our first large carnivore, the Allosaurus. So you can see off in the distance a ruined Jurassic World viewing gallery. I've designed this one to look like the Allosaurus has escaped and torn it to pieces, basically. Really like how it looks. It's a little bit higher than the guest's feet, unfortunately, but that's the best that we can get it in the game. And this leads us up to the viewing gallery for the Allosaurus. You can just see behind it the viewing log, which has also been trashed. We've got some big dinosaur footprints here, and everything looks like it's been knocked over by the Allosaurus. So let's go in here and check out the view. There we go. See if this one is gonna take the bait. Looks like they might do. Yeah, there we go. Pretty good view. There's some more viewing for them as well down the path. It's a lovely walk down the river here. I tried to make this park as beautiful as possible. We are in the... Ooh, nearly got killed there. We are in the Pacific Northwest of North America, so lots of pine trees and things like that. Little waterfall there. And we can get into the other Allosaurus viewing here. One of our other Allosaurus walking past in the distance. And we'll make our way round to the next exhibit, which is for the Guanlong. So we got another implied habitat there. And then round here, the rockwork starts to change. And we move into the lair of the crown dragon, which is what Guanlong means. So really dusty, dry canyon I've created here. Really like how different to the rest of the park this looks. We've got some bones up there and things like that. And then in here, with a kind of abandoned mineshaft style, we've got the Guanlong viewing. There we go. This is slightly inspired by an exhibit at London Zoo called the Mapping Terraces, with these big mountains in the background, designed so that parts of it are climbable and parts of it aren't. Not that any of the dinosaurs in this game can climb. Yeah, if we zoom in a bit, you can see some fences hidden away as well, just blocking out any possible escapes for our Guanlong. We've got some custom feeders as well that you can see there, designed so that they have to jump and scramble up the pole to get the food. Try and have something different in each habitat to make them interesting. And that's the Guanlong. So as we walk out of here, you can see this big dome in the background. That is the Dimorphodome, where Dimorphodons live. We'll have a quick look at this little fossil zone before we go any further. This is one of those places where the kids can actually dig up like pretend bones in here and all the sand, and then place them in the boxes when they're done. Got some dig site scenery here as well. Seen a few of those in zoos and things. I thought that would be cool. Over there we have the Jurassic Seas, which is our big Attenborosaurus exhibit, which we'll be visiting shortly. But firstly, let's go into the Dimorphodome. So more nice patches of forest up here. I love how full these parks are without the game collapsing like it does in Planet Zoo. It's great to be able to fill it with guests. Yeah, this is the Dimorphodome, designed to look a little bit like cliffs in England, which is where Dimorphodon was discovered. And again, if we go in here, we can see what we've got going on inside. There we go. It's designed to be very jungly. IRL Dimorphodon was probably spent much more time on the ground than it did in the air. That's the latest scientific supposition anyway. So I've completely filled this with jungle. Obviously they spend more time flying than they do on the ground. But it still looks really good like this, I think, with all the vines and the leaves and everything else. Got some misters at the top as well. And when they land on the ground, I think it's very effective in here. Let's head on to the Jurassic Seas. So this is one of the most recent builds in the park, heavily inspired by classic SeaWorld architecture and things like that. All the white concrete, used the sort of separate pillars of concrete technique, much like we did with the wood in the entrance and a few other places in the park. Got a nice custom path here, and fountains with the Attenborosaurus in it. This one doesn't function exactly like the entrance does. There's no way to directly go into it. You kind of have to do it manually, just because the building's so big. And because the stadium seating actually works. So if we take a look at that, you can get into the stadium seating, get a good view of our Attenborosauruses when our keepers are on this little platform, encouraging them to come up for air and for food. Not that that will happen in the game. And then some of these are actually functional as well, so that we can go underwater and get a view of them there. So let's do that and see one of the Attenborosaurus swimming past the display stand there. And there's also an underwater viewing dome as well. We'll check that out. There's a little underwater cave that they can swim under here as well. They're such graceful animals. And yeah, that's Jurassic Seas. Now, if we come out of here, the next stop on our tour and the final stop in the Jurassic area is the Sauropod Valley. So we got some massive statues here to set the tone for that. And then a big skeleton here. And our sign. So there is a giant viewing tree there that gives you a view over the entire Sauropod Valley. And then in here, we can actually get on the tour, which will take us around to see, I think there's 10 species in here, something like that. There's a lot. There we go. It's quite a view from here. But brachiosaurs first. We've got some dryosaurs in here as well. No kind of visible barriers or anything like that here. Just the height of the tracks that the cars are on prevents the dinosaurs from getting out. And then there are a few fences, pretty subtle fences. You can just see one of them off in the distance there to keep the paddocks separate from each other so that the dinosaurs don't mix. But each paddock has two species in it, a giant sauropod and then something smaller, Stegosaurus, Dryosaurus, Kentrosaurus, things like that. So you get a really varied selection of dinosaurs as you go around in the vehicle. Coming up on the Stegosaurus and the Apatosaurus paddock here. Really like the view from here, just looks really natural. There's one of our Apatosaurus now. Got a gate coming up next, which takes us into the next part of the paddocks. This one is for Diplodocus. And there they are. We've got a lot of them in here now. They've been breeding like crazy. These are just the highlights of this tour and the whole park, obviously. But at the end of the video, I'll give you the workshop code so you can download it and take the full tour and see everything that you want to see in here. On to the final paddock, which is for Mamenchisaurus. You can just see one off in the distance there. Let's take a closer look at them. Such majestic animals, and these habitats have really filled up now that we've had all the babies. And at the end of the tour of Sauropod Valley, we go into this little station here, and this is going to bring us out behind the Lagoon Resort. So let's head there now. We've got an archway for the Cretaceous area here, just to let you know that that is the area you were heading towards. But the resort is the first thing you'll get to. If you don't have a ticket for the resorts, then there is a monorail station that we just passed, which will take you directly to the Cretaceous or anywhere in the park that you want to go. But if you do have an exclusive ticket to the Lagoon Resort, then this is where you would get in. This does function as a hotel in the game, but what we also have is a fully functioning hotel room on the inside. Well, fairly fully functioning. We've got beds, we've got a door, we've got some plants, and most importantly, we have a balcony. We can go out and take a look at the lagoon and our ichthyosaurs. Love that. There's an underwater viewing gallery in here as well. See it off in the distance there. Let's head round past the lagoon and into the final area in the park, and the largest, which is the Cretaceous area. So the first thing that we're going to see here is our Triceratops habitat. This is another zoo-style habitat. So what we've got is a wall that you can look over, and on the other side is a ditch, which is what keeps the Triceratops in. There's two parts to this habitat, a rear part and a front part. This is the rear part, and then back at the front, we can see one of our Triceratops coming towards us here. And then we have a functioning viewing gallery into their rather nice house here, which is inspired by a giraffe house at a zoo in Paris. Again, we can go in here and see their indoor area. Really dark and mysterious in here, I like that. And then past the Triceratops is the final habitat that we built in the park for the Ankylosaurus. So if we just walk around here, here's our custom viewing gallery. The eagle-eyed among you may have noticed a miscoloured plank on the front of there. I certainly got a lot of comments about it. That has been fixed. So we got a viewing gallery in here. There we go, with our impact crater, which is kind of the concept for this habitat in the centre there, with all the mist and the smoke. All the trees that have been blown apart by the explosion. And our two Ankylosaurus in the back. And then if we walk around the building, we get a similar view to what we had in the Triceratops over the wall here. Wow, those Ankylosaurus are huge. I forget how big they are. Right, moving on down to here, you can see in the distance the enormous tropical house, the largest indoor exhibit in the park. But before we go in there, we have some raptors to see. So round here, we have a pathway behind the Triceratops that will take us in with the raptors. The first thing that you see is the original raptor pen from Jurassic Park. That's another kind of relic that I put in here to kind of bring the original Jurassic Park to mind. This was actually the first thing I ever built in this game back in the early access days. Still pretty happy with that. And then this is in with the raptors. So we've got 3 different raptor habitats in here, and the way that you can access it is we go in through the entrance and you find yourself at the Deinonychus viewing dome. So you are right in the middle of the habitat here. These would all be connected by underground tunnels IRL so that you could go from one to the other. So once you've finished with the Deinonychus, you can go around to the Ostroraptor habitat. You can see them here in their feeder. Definitely the cutest of the raptors for me, like giant ducks. And once you've seen the Ostroraptors, you can come in and see the Utah Raptor, one of the most impressive raptors in the game. They are very cool, especially like this fiery colour scheme that we went with. Looks great on them. And that is in with the raptors. So we take our lever then, and we can move back round towards the tropical house. So there's a path here with water on both sides that will take us into the tropical house, and it leads around to various other parts of the park as well, which we'll take a look at in a minute. But let's go into the tropical house first. This is a pretty tricky build with this giant dome up here. And then we've got 3 habitats in here with no fences. First one here is for Microceratus. We've got one there. Little family of them in here. Still a massive habitat for them, but this is as small as I could get it. This is a standard mode park, so all the dinosaurs still need to be comfortable. The only options I turned off was the ranger checks, because you basically have to use fences and gates if you have ranger checks. But turning that off enables us to build habitats like this, but they still need to be big enough for the little dinosaurs to be happy, hence why they're still a bit oversized. If we follow the path round here, we can go into the second habitat in the tropical house. Really like the lighting in here, the way it shines through all the bamboo and the plants. It gets us round here to this habitat for Stegosaurus. One of them plodding off into the distance there. Oh, we got another one coming in as well. Very cute. And then past them, we've got a viewing gallery hidden away in those rocks there, which is what makes the guests actually come in here. And then we come around here, we come to the final habitat in the tropical house. There you go, a little homalocephaly there. All the dinosaurs in here are cute because they're the small ones. And then this path here takes you out to the exit of the tropical house and into some much larger dinosaurs. Starting here with Therizinosaurus. You can see the Rexes away in the background. And yes, we do have 2 Rexes now. Thought we'd have another one in there. Into the Therizinosaurus. Nice bit of signage. Lots of dead wood to make the fences look more interesting. I'm really pleased with this entrance. It's one of my favourites. And then in here, wow, good timing. There's the Therizinosaurus right there. And this habitat is designed around this water source. Just trying to make the perfect little pond with rocks and a waterfall and the planting and everything else. Just think it looks really nice in here. They've got a stable away off in the distance there. They can go inside if they want. And I kind of like how the monorail is visible in the background now. I wasn't sure about it when I put it in, but I think it actually frames the habitat nicely the way it's just above the tree line there. And that's the Therizinosaurus. Next up is the T-Rex, or T-Rexes. So there's 2 paths here. This path here takes you up to the top of this volcano and the viewing gallery up there. And this path here, which we'll take, because I can see a T-Rex there, takes you into the other viewing gallery. This is designed to look like a garage, so we've got some of the Jurassic Park vehicles in there. And then we're just going to jump straight into the viewing gallery. And there they are. One of them's either going to sleep or he's just eating a goat, I'm not sure. But yeah, we've got male and female Rexes in here now. And then we've got the massive volcano up there. So let's check out the view from that. Here we go. Gives you a good view out across the park here. You can see a little bit of a T-Rex there. They're kind of hiding away behind the tree. Yeah, lots to see in here. There's the tropical house. Like a few of the other dinosaurs, the T-Rexes are kept in with a moat, but this time with a massive fence as well. And then a secondary fence on the guest side, just trying to make absolutely certain that nobody gets eaten. And past the T-Rex, we come to this little fork in the path here. The left-hand path will take you down directly to the Lost World restaurant, which overlooks the Cretaceous Cruise. And this path here will take you into the Cretaceous Cruise. So this is the one that we're going to take. And this is where we come out. Really happy with this one, especially now that we've got this aquatic aviary away in the background. Yeah, we've got some nice signage, one of the classic Jurassic Park rafts there. And then this is how we get into the cruise. It takes a full 25 minutes to get round this whole cruise. You can see our first dinosaur over on the right there. So we're not going to be taking the whole cruise today. You can see a pretty extensive version of this in the Cretaceous Cruise episode. I'm just going to show you some of the highlights and the new bits that we've added since then. The first habitat you come to is for the Allosaurus. They live on a little island here. And you can see some of our Parasaurolophus in the background as well. They live on the other side of the lake by the Lost World restaurant. And after you come to Dreadnoughtus, one of the largest herbivores in the game. They live on the banks of the lake. And then it's round to the Ornithomimus Island. Very striking bird-like dinosaurs. Then Dinochirus, one of the few dinosaurs that are behind fences, because obviously these guys are pretty good swimmers. All the other dinosaurs are kept in by walls under the water, so there's no way for them to get to the boats. Then it's on to Patagotitan, such cool dinosaurs. And then it's into the latest part of the Cretaceous Cruise, the aquatic aviary. Get a good look at it once the doors start to open. Nice. So this is designed like a little tropical island, little kind of beach, some palm trees. We've got the Kuwayajara flying around, and some of them walking around. Got some nice perch points for them here as well. Oh, one of them's going to fly right past us. Nice. And we will head out of the aquatic aviary and onto the Spinosaurus. There they are. These are the other ones that are behind a fence for obvious reasons. And past them, we come on to the Lost World restaurant. So this is access down the path that we saw earlier. You wouldn't go there on the Cretaceous Cruise, you would go there before or afterwards. and there's direct access there, so you don't need to spend 30 minutes kayaking to actually get something to eat. So let's take a look at that. Made some improvements here with some binoculars off the workshop. So thank you to Brandon for uploading those. You can grab a bite to eat with a very nice view of the lake. And you can also stand here and see the Parasaurolophus. The end of the Cretaceous Cruise joins up to a monorail station. You can see it in the distance there. And we're going to jump on that and go to our final destination, Cretaceous Skies. This is the last major attraction that we built in the park. Really enjoyed building this one with the new Avery tools. There are 3 viewing galleries in here. This first one gives you this view. The Quetzalcoatlus and the Tapiara that live in here. There's a big canyon in the background, which was kind of the concept for this whole area. And there are paths that take you around to this little area, which is more designed for the Tapiara. One there. And then finally, this top viewing dome where you're right at the top of the canyon and you get to see the flying reptiles much closer. And that is Jurassic World North West. I really hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching this series over the past 5 or 6 months. Planning for the next park is well underway. It is going to be very different to this one. I'm so excited to show it to you. I'm hoping to have episode 1 out in 2 weeks' time, but there's going to be a supercut of Building the Lost World out before that, and more Planet Zoo, of course. Keep your eyes on the channel for those, and I'll see you again soon.